Out, Tucker. I know, for most of us, our teeth work just fine.
Now that's big news, Clayton. Thank you. Well, it's political news. No deal on the sequester, and that means $85 billion in automatic across-the-board spending cuts are now in effect. White House economic advisor Gene Sperling talked about this just moments ago.
I think the president was overall right in that the idea of an across-the-board all spending cut was the idea of Republicans. But yes, we put forward the design of how to do that. But David,
which was the sequester.
But David, the right issue
which was the sequester.
But the right answer is that we all did agree to this, and we all agreed to it to force us.
Sperling also explained his side of the controversy he's been embroiled in with reporter Bob Woodward. Here to weigh in are Pete Snyder, a urban strategist and a lieutenant governor candidate in the Commonwealth of Virginia, and Mark Hanna, a Democratic analyst and former aide to President Obama during his presidential campaign. Welcome to you both. I want you to listen to what Gene Sperling said this morning about his feud with Bob Woodward. Here it is.
I was trying to explain to him from a substantive point of view that the idea that the President of the United States was moving the goalposts by asking for the type of balance of tax reform that raised revenues, what the Speaker, Boehner himself, as you noted, had called for, as well as long-term entitlement together to get rid of the sequester, was not only not moving the goalposts, that was the whole idea of the sequester. And I think that email was cordial. It was substantive.
So, Mark, what is it? Is Bob Woodward making it up when he claims that his reporting showed that increased tax revenue was not on the table? It was never supposed to be part of this plan. Where did he get that?
Well, Bob Woodward, I was reading an interview with him yesterday, actually did agree with Gene and said that they do have a great working relationship, that they have a cordial relationship. Bob Woodward never felt threatened at all by this email. He's a veteran reporter and has a lot of experience there. This is sort of how politics works, and these guys go back and forth with, this type of language. But no, what happened is the idea of an across-the-board spending cut came from Republicans. What Jack Lew, when he was chief of staff and when he was budget director.
What Democrats did.
Where's the balance here? We've seen at the first of the year we saw pretty dramatic tax increases. Pete, were you expecting the president to call for more?
I think it's in his nature, unfortunately. But look, we had $650 billion of new tax increases in January. We need to
a minuscule percentage of the American population.
Oh, that's absolutely untrue. Now we have
the wealthiest, the millionaires and billionaires
through the sequester, gutting our military in Virginia. We need to cut spending in Washington, but this is not the way to do it. This is a political stunt.
Democrats didn't want
Bob Woodward exposed the president on this, embarrassed the president on us, because it's his idea.
Well,
this is the wrong way to go about
I'm
spending
time,
cuts.
and I want to get both your very quick reactions to a story happening in Virginia and Maryland, as Maryland weighs dramatic gun control measures. At least one gun manufacturer, Beretta, is saying it might move to Virginia from Maryland. Mark, this is inevitable, isn't it?
Well, I think that, look, every governor wants to attract jobs and attract private companies to their state. So absolutely, Virginia, I understand. And Pete, by the way, congratulations for throwing your hat into the ring and on the lieutenant governor race, wants to attract business to their state. I don't begrudge them that. But we can't have this discussion about economic, attracting jobs and gun safety and the safety of our school kids at the same time. These are very separate discussions, and when we're balancing gun laws, we can't be thinking about what are the economic imperatives of them.
But that's the very problem.
Pete, Virginia, just to be clear, hasn't necessarily wooed gun manufacturers. Maryland has driven them away. That's my read
exactly
of
it. Tucker, boneheaded liberal policies have economic consequences. My day job is I'm the CEO of a company called Disruptor Capital. I saw this story in the Washington Post. I immediately called and sent a letter with my Disruptor Capital hat on to the head of Beretta and said, hey, look, first and foremost, I started 2 businesses in Virginia. We're a low-tax, low-regulatory environment. Come on over. The water's fine. And secondly, if you want to relocate, my company would be interested in financing it. I want to make Maryland a gun-maker-free zone, period.
So are you saying, Mark, that our school children, you said a second ago that our kids would be safer in the wake of this? Right. You think moving Beretta from Maryland to Virginia is going to make any child in America safer? You want to say that with a straight face to the camera?
I'll say with a straight face that in the wake of Newtown, in the wake of Virginia Tech in Pete's home state, where it was the worst massacre by a gunman in American history, this isn't the time to be wooing gun makers. This isn't the time to be having that conversation. Let's wait, have a discussion about gun control legislation, state by state, and individual states, and at the federal level.
And then it's easier to get rid of all gun makers then? I mean, by your logic, why not just ban guns? That seems to be what you're saying.
We're not banning guns, Tucker. Nobody's against the Second Amendment here.
Really?
What we're against is creating a climate.
I would disagree.
This is why our economy is in shambles. You have,
look, we're trying.
Policies.
I just want to make sure that no politician, Pete included, and Pete, I just complimented you, and I think you've been, you've created 2 fantastic companies. You've been very successful in the private sector, but this isn't the time to be wooing gun manufacturers or making political profit.
These are civil liberties,
out of these kinds
these
of
are civil liberties.
debates.
A Virginian wrote the Bill of Rights, and in 2013, Virginians are going to defend all of our civil liberties.
James Madison probably would have worded the Second Amendment a lot.
Well, wait a second.
James Madison would have worded the Second Amendment.
Are you saying that there is something immoral about manufacturing guns in this country? That appears to be what you're saying.
No, Tucker, that's absolutely not what I'm saying.
I will say that. Wait, hold on.
Let me just finish my.
Slow down. You just said it's no time to be wooing gun manufacturers. Why is that?
I think it's probably not the best time for politicians to be making an issue of economic development when it comes to gun manufacturers right while we're having this conversation. James Madison, as you know, who wrote the Second Amendment, who wrote the Bill of Rights, who was a Virginian, probably would have written it a little bit differently if he knew that the Second Amendment would have been as misinterpreted as it has been by the gun lobby and politicians that are in their
gentlemen, Pete,
influence.
Just a couple seconds here. We want to sum it up for us?
Sure. Beretta, please come to Virginia. I will help finance it. You will have a wonderful business environment, low tax, low regulatory, and fewer boneheaded liberals. Come on over. The water's fine, Beretta. We need you.
Gentlemen, thank you both very much. I appreciate it. Pete, Mark, thanks. Well, that's it for Fox and Friends this weekend. America's News Headquarters starts now. We'll see you next weekend. Thanks for watching.